Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley's Frankenstein, or The Modern Prometheus, first published in 1818, stands as a cornerstone of Gothic literature and an early manifestation of science fiction. Born in 1797 to two prominent intellectuals, feminist philosopher Mary Wollstonecraft and political theorist William Godwin, Shelley was steeped in the Enlightenment ideals of reason, inquiry, and the exploration of human potential. This rich intellectual heritage profoundly influenced her narrative, which grapples with themes of creation, ambition, and the ethical dimensions of scientific exploration. The historical context of the early 19th century, rife with revolutionary fervor and rapid advancements in science, provides a fertile backdrop for her exploration of the consequences of human hubris. Frankenstein is often classified as both a Gothic novel and a work of early science fiction. The Gothic elements manifest through its dark themes, emotional intensity, and the exploration of the monstrous, both literal and metaphorical. Yet it transcends mere horror to engage with the implications of scientific ambition and the quest for knowledge, positioning itself as a precursor to the modern science fiction genre. In this light, Shelley's work interrogates not only the limits of scientific exploration, but also the moral responsibilities that accompany such pursuits. The significance of Frankenstein lies in its prescient exploration of the human condition and the ethical dilemmas posed by technological advancements, making it an enduring text in literary studies and a crucial reference point in discussions about the moral implications of scientific discovery. The narrative of Frankenstein unfolds through a series of letters penned by the Arctic explorer Robert Walton, who serves as both a narrator and a character within the story. This epistolary structure establishes an immediate sense of intimacy and immediacy, allowing readers to engage with Walton's aspirations and fears. The novel opens with a profound sense of adventure and ambition, as Walton expresses his fervent desire to explore uncharted territories and unlock the mysteries of nature. His letters evoke a romantic idealism, reflecting a yearning for knowledge and glory that resonates with the broader themes of the novel. The opening passages set the stage for the central conflicts that will emerge: the tension between the pursuit of knowledge and the potential for destruction, a theme that will crystallize as Victor Frankenstein's tragic story unfolds. From the outset, Shelley introduces the theme of ambition, underscoring the allure of discovery and the dangers that accompany it. Walton's aspirations mirror those of Victor Frankenstein, whose relentless quest to create life leads to catastrophic consequences. The opening letters foreshadow the tragic trajectory of the narrative, as Walton's enthusiasm for his expedition parallels Victor's fervent desire to transcend human limitations. This parallelism establishes a critical dialogue between the two characters, suggesting that the quest for knowledge, while noble in intent, can lead to unforeseen repercussions when pursued without ethical consideration. The notion of ambition as a double-edged sword permeates the text, challenging readers to reflect on the nature of progress and its inherent risks. Frankenstein matters to modern readers not merely as a tale of horror, but as a cautionary narrative that resonates with contemporary concerns surrounding scientific ethics, particularly in fields such as genetic engineering and artificial intelligence. The moral quandaries faced by Victor Frankenstein, his desire to conquer death and create life, echo today's debates about the limits of human intervention in natural processes. Shelley's exploration of the consequences of Victor's hubris serves as a reminder of the potential fallout when humanity seeks to play God, a theme that remains strikingly relevant in an age of rapid technological advancement. The novel's enduring legacy lies in its ability to provoke critical thought about the responsibilities that accompany scientific exploration and the ethical dilemmas that arise when ambition eclipses moral consideration. In conclusion, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is a profound exploration of the human condition, ambition, and the ethical implications of scientific inquiry. Rooted in its historical context, the text transcends its Gothic origins to engage with timeless questions about the nature of creation and the moral responsibilities that accompany the pursuit of knowledge. As modern readers grapple with the implications of scientific progress, Shelley's narrative continues to resonate, serving as both a cautionary tale and a compelling reflection on the complexities of human ambition. The novel's rich thematic tapestry and its exploration of the darker aspects of human nature ensure its place as a pivotal work in the canon of literature, inviting ongoing analysis and reflection. In the early chapters of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus, the narrative unfolds through a series of letters penned by Robert Walton, an ambitious explorer whose quest for knowledge and adventure sets the stage for the novel's exploration of human ambition and its consequences. Walton's correspondence with his sister, Margaret Saville, provides a unique framing device that immerses readers in the themes of isolation and the longing for companionship. As Walton embarks on his perilous journey to the North Pole, his character is introduced with a striking blend of romantic idealism and profound loneliness, a duality that echoes throughout the novel. Walton's letters reveal his intense desire for a friend, someone who can share in his triumphs and offer solace in moments of despair. This yearning for companionship is articulated when he states, "I have no friend, Margaret. I desire the company of a man who could sympathize with me, whose eyes would reply to mine." The absence of a confidant amplifies his emotional turmoil and foreshadows the profound isolation that will be a recurring theme in the narrative. Walton's character embodies the archetype of the ambitious romantic hero, driven by a quest for knowledge, yet plagued by a fundamental loneliness that suggests the inherent dangers of such ambition. As Walton's expedition progresses, the setting becomes increasingly foreboding. Descriptions of the frost and snow surrounding him serve as a metaphor for the emotional desolation he experiences. The harsh Arctic landscape symbolizes the challenges and moral dilemmas that lie ahead, setting the tone for the ensuing narrative. The isolation of the North Pole not only reflects Walton's internal struggles, but also serves as a precursor to the isolation experienced by Victor Frankenstein and his creation later in the story. The starkness of the environment mirrors the existential void that accompanies unchecked ambition, suggesting that the pursuit of glory can lead one to desolate extremes. The introduction of the crew members, particularly the lieutenant and the ship's master, adds depth to Walton's character development. The lieutenant, described as a man of wonderful courage and enterprise, embodies the spirit of adventure that Walton admires, yet his ignorance and lack of education highlight the disparity between ambition and intellectual sophistication. The master's gentle disposition and integrity provide a contrast to Walton's more fervent nature, emphasizing the complexity of human relationships in the face of ambition. This interplay among characters establishes a dynamic that will resonate throughout the narrative, illustrating the varying responses to ambition and its consequences. The narrative takes a pivotal turn when Walton's ship becomes trapped in ice, leading to an encounter with Victor Frankenstein. This meeting is laden with significance, as Frankenstein represents the tragic outcome of unchecked ambition and the pursuit of forbidden knowledge. Victor's arrival introduces a stark contrast to Walton's youthful exuberance. He embodies the consequences of a relentless quest for understanding that ultimately leads to despair and destruction. Victor's recounting of his own story serves as a cautionary tale, warning Walton of the perils that accompany unbridled ambition and the ethical dilemmas inherent in the quest for knowledge. As Victor begins to narrate his own history, readers witness the genesis of his tragic journey. He recounts his childhood in Geneva, characterized by a supportive family and a passion for learning. The introduction of Victor's character reveals his early fascination with the natural sciences, which quickly transforms into an obsession with uncovering the secrets of life itself. Victor's ambition, much like Walton's, is rooted in a desire to transcend human limitations and achieve greatness. However, Shelley foreshadows the impending conflict by suggesting that Victor's aspirations will lead him down a dark path, one that ultimately results in alienation and tragedy. The conflict within Victor's character becomes apparent as he grapples with the implications of his scientific pursuits. His creation of the creature, born from a desire to conquer death and achieve immortality, sets into motion a series of catastrophic events. The initial thrill of discovery quickly devolves into horror and regret as Victor realizes the monstrosity he has brought into existence. This internal conflict underscores the thematic exploration of responsibility and the ethical ramifications of scientific exploration, raising questions about the limits of human ambition and the moral obligations of creators to their creations. Through the early plot development and character introductions, Shelley establishes a rich framework for the exploration of ambition, isolation, and the consequences of transgressing natural boundaries. The interplay between Walton's aspirations and Victor's tragic downfall serves as a poignant reminder of the duality of human nature, the drive for knowledge and greatness, tempered by the potential for destruction and despair. As the narrative unfolds, the conflicts arising from these ambitions will reverberate through the lives of both creator and creature, ultimately culminating in a profound meditation on the complexities of human existence. In this way, the early chapters of Frankenstein lay the groundwork for a narrative that interrogates the very essence of what it means to be human in the face of ambition and its inherent consequences. The early chapters of Frankenstein serve as a crucial foundation not only for the plot, but also for the thematic exploration of isolation, ambition, and the quest for knowledge. Through Robert Walton's letters, Mary Shelley intricately introduces the reader to the narrative's primary conflicts, while simultaneously establishing the character dynamics that will unfold throughout the story. Walton's ambitious expedition to the North Pole symbolizes mankind's insatiable thirst for knowledge and the dangers that accompany it. His letters to his sister, Margaret Saville, reveal a character driven by fervent aspirations, yet they also foreshadow the tragic consequences of such unbridled ambition. In these letters, Walton's tone oscillates between hope and despair, embodying the duality of human ambition. He expresses a fervent determination to achieve greatness, declaring, "What can stop the determined heart and resolved will of man?" This sentiment encapsulates the spirit of the Enlightenment, wherein the pursuit of knowledge was both celebrated and critiqued. Walton's overconfidence mirrors the hubris that will later be echoed in Victor Frankenstein, suggesting a thematic link between the two characters. As Walton becomes increasingly obsessed with his quest, the reader is invited to consider the implications of such ambition, an inquiry that will resonate throughout the novel. The introduction of Victor Frankenstein occurs through the eyes of Walton, who encounters him in a moment of profound vulnerability. This pivotal scene marks a significant shift in the narrative, as the reader is presented with Victor, a man who appears to embody both brilliance and despair. Victor's initial description evokes a sense of sympathy. He is dreadfully emaciated by fatigue and suffering, a stark contrast to the spirited explorer Walton. This juxtaposition not only highlights the physical toll that obsessive ambition can take, but also sets the stage for Victor's tragic arc. His subsequent recovery under Walton's care allows for a deeper exploration of his character, revealing a man haunted by his past decisions. As Victor regains his strength, he becomes increasingly introspective, sharing his tragic tale with Walton. His narrative serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of unchecked ambition and the ethical dilemmas inherent in scientific exploration. Victor's obsession with creating life, which he ultimately realizes through the creation of the creature, serves as the crux of the novel's central conflict. Victor's initial excitement about his scientific pursuits is palpable when he describes the moment he succeeded in discovering the cause of generation and life. However, this excitement quickly transforms into horror as he confronts the ramifications of his actions. This transformation underscores the conflict between creator and creation, a theme that permeates the narrative and raises questions about responsibility and the nature of humanity. The creature itself, introduced through Victor's recollections, embodies the consequences of Victor's ambition. Victor describes the creature as a wretch, yet it is crucial to recognize that the creature is a product of Victor's own making, reflecting the darker aspects of human ambition and the ethical complexities of creation. The creature's initial innocence starkly contrasts with its eventual transformation into a figure of vengeance and despair. This duality serves as a poignant commentary on the nature of humanity. It challenges the reader to consider the impact of societal rejection and isolation. Victor's internal conflict intensifies as he grapples with the implications of his creation. He oscillates between feelings of responsibility for the creature and horror at what he has unleashed. This internal struggle is further complicated by the external conflict that arises as the creature seeks acceptance and companionship. The creature's longing for connection highlights the profound human need for belonging and the devastating effects of isolation. Victor's refusal to acknowledge his creation only exacerbates this conflict, leading to a cycle of revenge and tragedy that ultimately consumes both characters. The early chapters of Frankenstein thus lay the groundwork for a rich exploration of existential themes, emphasizing the complexities of ambition, creation, and human connection. Walton's quest for discovery parallels Victor's journey, suggesting that the pursuit of knowledge can lead to both enlightenment and destruction. As the narrative unfolds, the reader is compelled to reflect on the ethical dimensions of scientific exploration and the intrinsic responsibilities that come with creation. Through Victor and the Creature, Shelley presents a profound meditation on the nature of humanity, urging the reader to confront the consequences of ambition and the essential need for empathy and understanding. In conclusion, the early plot development in Frankenstein intricately weaves together character introductions and conflicts that not only propel the narrative but also invite philosophical inquiry. Walton's letters frame the story, while Victor's tragic tale serves as a cautionary exploration of the consequences of ambition. The interplay between creator and creation, as well as the themes of isolation and the quest for belonging, establish a rich tapestry of human experience that resonates throughout the novel. Shelley's work remains a timeless reflection on the complexities of existence, urging readers to contemplate the delicate balance between ambition and ethical responsibility. The intricate character relationships in Frankenstein serve as a vital framework for the rising action and thematic development that underpin Mary Shelley's narrative. The evolving dynamic between Captain Walton and the stranger, Victor Frankenstein, exemplifies the interplay of admiration, empathy, and the burden of shared isolation. Walton, initially driven by ambition and the allure of exploration, finds himself increasingly captivated by the tragic figure before him. As he observes Victor's physical frailty and emotional turmoil, Walton's admiration morphs into a profound bond, one that is tinged with a sense of duty to alleviate Victor's suffering. Shelley crafts this relationship with a delicate touch, emphasizing the duality of their circumstances. Walton, in his quest for knowledge and glory, parallels Victor's earlier ambitions, suggesting a cyclical nature of human aspiration and its potential for destruction. As Victor confides in Walton about his tragic past, the narrative tension escalates. Victor's warning to Walton, "I ardently hope that the gratification of your wishes may not be a serpent to sting you, as mine has been," foreshadows the dire consequences of unchecked ambition. This moment crystallizes the thematic core of the novel, encapsulating the dangers of overreaching and the moral obligations that accompany the pursuit of knowledge. The rising action is marked by Victor's gradual revelation of his story, which serves as a vessel for Shelley's exploration of the consequences of creation and the responsibilities inherent in it. Victor's lamentation over his lost friend, which he describes as the most noble of human creatures, not only highlights the depths of his despair, but also serves as a critical reflection on the value of human connection. The stark contrast between Walton's hopeful spirit and Victor's desolation underscores the theme of isolation. While Walton seeks companionship and kinship in his journey, Victor's past is riddled with the loss of those he held dear, suggesting that the quest for knowledge often comes at the expense of personal relationships. As Victor recounts his tragic tale, the narrative tension intensifies, revealing the layers of grief and regret that haunt him. His admission of madness, as he implores Walton to heed his warning, serves to deepen the emotional gravity of the story. The phrase, "Unhappy man, do you share my madness?" encapsulates the shared struggle between creator and creation, suggesting that madness is not solely an affliction of the individual, but a contagion that can ensnare those around them. This moment poignantly illustrates how Victor's isolation has morphed into a shared burden, implicating Walton in the moral quandary of ambition. Shelley's exploration of the complexities of friendship also unfolds through these interactions. Victor's yearning for companionship, articulated in his reflection that we are unformed creatures, captures the essence of human vulnerability. His desperate need for understanding and connection resonates with Walton, who, despite his initial aspirations, finds himself entwined in Victor's emotional turmoil. The depth of their dialogue reveals that true friendship transcends mere companionship. It demands empathy and the willingness to bear another's sorrows. Walton's growing affection for Victor, as he describes him as a noble creature in his better days, is indicative of the transformative power of shared experiences, even in the face of despair. As their relationship develops, the rising action culminates in a moment of cathartic vulnerability, where Victor's grief and Walton's ambition converge. Victor's insistence that Walton dash the cup from his lips serves as a poignant reminder of the perils of unchecked ambition. The metaphor of the cup symbolizes the intoxicating allure of knowledge and the potential for self-destruction inherent in its pursuit. This moment crystallizes the thematic tension between the quest for enlightenment and the ethical implications of such endeavors, urging readers to reflect on the responsibilities that accompany knowledge. The interplay of character relationships in this section of the novel not only propels the narrative forward, but also deepens the thematic exploration of isolation, ambition, and the longing for connection. Victor and Walton, both driven by their respective quests, embody the complexities of human experience. Their relationship serves as a microcosm of the broader existential struggles that define the human condition. As Victor's story unfolds, it becomes clear that the quest for knowledge is fraught with peril, and the cost of ambition may ultimately outweigh its rewards. Shelley's intricate character development and the rising tension between Walton and Victor invite readers to engage with the moral dilemmas presented in the narrative. Through their evolving relationship, Shelley masterfully illustrates that the pursuit of knowledge, while noble, is inextricably linked to the ethical implications of creation and the profound consequences of isolation. In doing so, she prompts readers to grapple with the complexities of human ambition and the enduring quest for belonging amidst the vast, often unforgiving landscape of existence. The intricate tapestry of relationships in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein begins to unfold through the lens of familial bonds, emphasizing the significance of nurturing connections in the face of adversity. The introduction of Victor Frankenstein's parents sets the stage for a narrative steeped in themes of love, loss, and the moral implications of ambition. Victor's father, a man of integrity and public duty, contrasts sharply with the tragic figure of Beaufort, whose pride leads him to despair. This juxtaposition not only highlights the fragility of human dignity, but also serves as a prelude to the profound isolation that Victor and his creature will ultimately experience. Caroline Beaufort, Victor's mother, emerges as a paragon of resilience and compassion. Her devotion to her ailing father, despite their dire circumstances, illustrates the theme of sacrifice that pervades the novel. When Victor's father discovers Caroline in her moment of despair, it is a poignant reminder of the interconnectedness of human experiences. The act of compassion that binds them together transcends their respective hardships. Victor's father's decision to take Caroline under his wing illustrates the redemptive power of love and support, which ultimately culminates in their marriage. This relationship is marked by a profound sense of gratitude and admiration, as Victor's father seeks to provide Caroline with a life devoid of suffering. Their union symbolizes the ideal of familial love, a stark contrast to the isolation that will later engulf Victor and his creature. As Victor recounts the origins of his family, the narrative builds tension through the foreshadowing of tragedy. Victor's early life, filled with affection and encouragement, is underpinned by a growing sense of ambition and an insatiable thirst for knowledge. The idyllic setting of Geneva serves as a backdrop for Victor's formative years, but it is also a harbinger of the tumult that is to come. The seeds of his ambition are planted early on, nurtured by the love and attention of his parents, yet this very ambition becomes the catalyst for his eventual downfall. Shelley's exploration of the duality of knowledge, its ability to empower and to destroy, resonates throughout the text, as Victor's fervent desire to unlock the secrets of life leads him down a path of isolation and despair. The rising action of the narrative, is intricately woven with the development of Victor's character and his relationships. As he becomes increasingly consumed by his studies, the distance between him and his family widens. Shelley's portrayal of Victor's obsessive nature serves as a critique of the Enlightenment ideal of unrestrained scientific inquiry. The moment Victor declares, "I had worked hard for nearly 2 years, for the sole purpose of infusing life into an inanimate body," encapsulates his hubris and foreshadows the catastrophic consequences of his actions. His ambition blinds him to the ethical ramifications of his work, resulting in a profound disconnection from the very people who love him. Victor's relationship with his creature becomes a poignant exploration of creation and abandonment. The creature, initially a tabula rasa, is imbued with Victor's essence, but is ultimately rejected by his creator. This rejection is a manifestation of Victor's fears and failures as he grapples with the consequences of his hubris. The creature's subsequent descent into violence and despair serves as a dark reflection of Victor's own internal turmoil. Shelley's portrayal of their relationship is a powerful commentary on the nature of responsibility. Victor's failure to nurture his creation results in a cycle of isolation and vengeance that echoes throughout the narrative. The creature's lament, "I am alone and miserable, man will not associate with me," poignantly encapsulates the theme of alienation that permeates the text. Shelley deftly navigates the complexities of these relationships, illustrating how the pursuit of knowledge can fracture familial bonds and lead to profound isolation. The rising action is marked by Victor's increasing estrangement from his family and friends, culminating in the tragic consequences of his ambition. As he becomes further ensnared in his obsession, the warmth of familial love is replaced by the cold reality of his choices. The narrative crescendos with the realization that the very quest for enlightenment that once promised fulfillment leads instead to devastation, as Victor's ambition ultimately alienates him from the very essence of what it means to be human. In this exploration of character relationships and thematic development, Shelley compels her readers to reflect on the moral responsibilities that accompany creation and the profound impact of isolation on the human experience. The tragic trajectory of Victor Frankenstein and his creation serves as a cautionary tale, urging a reconsideration of the boundaries of ambition and the necessity of connection in a world that often prioritizes knowledge over compassion. The narrative unfolds with an intimate portrayal of familial love, establishing a foundation that starkly contrasts with the subsequent tragedy that envelops Victor Frankenstein and his creation. The idyllic beginnings of Victor's life, characterized by the deep affection of his parents and the arrival of Elizabeth Lavenza, serve not only to highlight the warmth of human connections, but also to foreshadow the profound isolation that will later plague both Victor and the creature. As the creature emerges from the depths of Victor's ambition, it becomes evident that the bonds of love and responsibility are intricately woven into the tapestry of existence, revealing a poignant tension between creation and abandonment. Victor's childhood is marked by a sense of security and wonder, yet it is also shadowed by the ominous undercurrents of his burgeoning obsession with knowledge. This obsession crystallizes during his formative years, as he becomes increasingly captivated by the mysteries of nature. Shelley writes, "The world was to me a secret which I desired to divine," encapsulating Victor's insatiable thirst for understanding that ultimately leads him down a path of destruction. As he delves into the arcane sciences, the tension between his human relationships and his relentless pursuit of knowledge begins to mount, foreshadowing the tragic consequences of his ambition. The introduction of Elizabeth as Victor's more-than-sister adds a layer of complexity to his character. Their bond is steeped in innocence and purity, yet it also serves to illustrate the dichotomy between love and obsession. Victor's affection for Elizabeth is simultaneously protective and possessive, a duality that becomes increasingly apparent as the narrative progresses. His declaration that he views her as mine to protect, love, and cherish hints at a disturbing possessiveness that will later transform into a destructive force, reflecting the mounting tensions between love and ownership, creation, and control. As the plot develops, the idyllic setting of their childhood is disrupted by the encroaching specter of tragedy. The death of Victor's mother, which occurs shortly after Elizabeth's arrival in their household, marks a pivotal turning point in Victor's life. This loss serves as a catalyst for his obsessive quest for knowledge and a desperate attempt to conquer death itself. Victor's sorrow is palpable as he reflects on his mother's passing, intertwining grief with his burgeoning ambition. The loss ignites within him a fervent desire to transcend the limitations of human existence, setting the stage for the catastrophic events that follow. The narrative tension escalates as Victor becomes increasingly isolated in his pursuits. His studies consume him, leading to a withdrawal from the very relationships that once defined his happiness. The juxtaposition of Victor's intellectual awakening against the backdrop of his emotional detachment illustrates the pernicious effects of ambition unchecked by moral responsibility. Shelley emphasizes this transformation through Victor's own words, as he admits to feeling a cold dew on his forehead, symbolizing the chilling consequences of his forsaking human connection for the sake of knowledge. The act of creation itself becomes a pivotal moment, fraught with both triumph and horror. Victor's initial exhilaration upon animating the creature dissipates quickly, replaced by a profound sense of horror and regret as he gazes upon the being he has brought to life. Shelley masterfully captures this moment of realization, highlighting the mounting tension between creator and creation. Victor's immediate rejection of the creature serves as a stark commentary on the responsibilities inherent in creation. His failure to nurture and accept his creation sets off a tragic chain of events that reverberates throughout the rest of the novel. The creature, initially an innocent being, becomes a reflection of Victor's own isolation and despair. As the narrative unfolds, the creature's transformation from a being of potential to one marked by vengeance underscores the consequences of Victor's abandonment. The creature's desperate search for companionship and acceptance becomes a haunting parallel to Victor's own alienation, illustrating the profound impact of neglect and the dire need for human connection. The mounting tension between the two figures, Victor, who embodies the quest for knowledge, and the creature, who embodies the consequences of that quest, culminates in a tragic confrontation that reveals the catastrophic implications of unchecked ambition. Thus, the plot complications in Frankenstein serve not only to heighten the dramatic tension, but also to illuminate the intricate relationship between creation and responsibility. Victor's tragic trajectory, marked by profound isolation and the repercussions of his actions, becomes a cautionary tale that resonates with the reader. The mounting tensions between love and obsession, ambition and responsibility culminate in a narrative that compels a reflection on the ethical dimensions of creation, ultimately urging a reconsideration of the delicate balance between knowledge and compassion. In this way, Shelley's work transcends its Gothic trappings, offering a timeless exploration of the human condition and the moral complexities that accompany the act of creation. As Victor Frankenstein's narrative unfolds, a pivotal moment emerges when he discovers the works of Cornelius Agrippa, Paracelsus, and Albertus Magnus. This encounter acts as the catalyst for his burgeoning obsession with the natural sciences, symbolizing the allure of forbidden knowledge and the consequences that accompany it. Shelley's text intricately weaves the theme of ambition with the potential for ruin, as Victor's unquenchable thirst for understanding propels him toward a path of destruction. The fervent desire to penetrate the secrets of nature becomes a double-edged sword, illuminating the tension between enlightenment and the darker implications of such pursuits. Victor's initial fascination with the ancient philosophers is contrasted sharply with his father's dismissive remarks, which serve to underscore the generational divide in approaches to knowledge. The father's lack of encouragement exemplifies a critical failure of mentorship, as Victor feels compelled to pursue his studies in isolation. He reflects, "If, instead of this remark, my father had taken the pains to explain to me that the principles of Agrippa had been entirely exploded, I should certainly have thrown Agrippa aside." Here, Shelley illustrates the fragility of influence and the overwhelming weight of parental guidance, or the absence thereof. The tragic irony lies in Victor's descent into obsession, spurred by a lack of constructive dialogue, highlighting how ignorance can foster an insatiable hunger for knowledge that ultimately leads to catastrophe. Shelley's exploration of Victor's character reveals a profound internal conflict as he grapples with the moral implications of his scientific pursuits. His relentless quest for understanding leads him to forsake the ethical considerations that should accompany such ambition. As he immerses himself in the works of these early scientists, Victor becomes increasingly detached from the human experience, exemplifying the dangers of unchecked intellectualism. The text poignantly captures this shift when Victor states, "I might have become sullen in my study, rough through the ardor of my nature, but that she was there to subdue me to a semblance of her own gentleness." Here Elizabeth serves as a moral compass, embodying compassion and love, while Victor's growing obsession renders him increasingly isolated from the very values that once grounded him. The narrative reaches a critical juncture as Victor embarks on the creation of his creature, an act that crystallizes the thematic undercurrents of hubris and consequence. In his pursuit of knowledge, Victor attempts to usurp the role of the creator, a symbolic act that raises profound questions about the limits of human ambition. This moment encapsulates the essence of the Gothic genre, as it heralds the emergence of the monstrous, not only in the physical form of the creature, but also within Victor himself. Shelley's choice of language conveys the gravity of this transformation. Victor becomes a figure marked by gloomy and narrow reflections upon self, suggesting that his singular focus on creation leads to an inward spiral of despair and disillusionment. The act of creation, which initially appears as a triumph of scientific achievement, quickly devolves into a source of horror and regret. Victor's realization that he has conjured a being that embodies his own fears and failures serves as a poignant commentary on the ethical responsibilities inherent in the act of creation. The creature, initially an innocent reflection of Victor's ambition, becomes a harbinger of his doom, as Victor's abandonment of his creation leads to a cycle of vengeance and tragedy. This escalation highlights the notion that knowledge devoid of empathy results in destruction, illuminating the moral imperatives that accompany the quest for understanding. Shelley's narrative culminates in a profound exploration of the consequences of Victor's hubris, as he faces the repercussions of his actions. The creature, once a symbol of Victor's ambition, transforms into a representation of his guilt and despair. The text poignantly emphasizes the duality of creation. While Victor sought to unlock the mysteries of life, he inadvertently unleashed chaos and suffering. As the creature laments, "I am alone and miserable. Man will not associate with me," it becomes evident that the true monstrosity lies not in the creature itself, but in Victor's failure to acknowledge the humanity within his creation. In this climactic moment, Shelley crystallizes her thematic concerns, urging readers to grapple with the ethical dimensions of scientific exploration and the necessity of compassion in the face of ambition. The narrative serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us that the pursuit of knowledge must be tempered by an awareness of its potential consequences. Through Victor Frankenstein's tragic journey, Shelley ultimately compels a reflection on the delicate balance between creation and responsibility, urging a reconsideration of what it means to be truly human in an age of scientific advancement. Thus, Frankenstein remains a timeless exploration of the complexities of existence, resonating with contemporary concerns about the moral implications of our own technological pursuits. In the resolution of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, we witness the tragic culmination of Victor Frankenstein's obsessive quest for knowledge and the dire consequences of his failure to take responsibility for his creation. The narrative arc concludes not with the triumph of scientific advancement, but with a haunting reflection on the moral and ethical dimensions of creation. Victor's death, pursued by the vengeful creature he abandoned, serves as a poignant reminder that the pursuit of knowledge devoid of ethical consideration leads to destruction. The novel's ending, characterized by the creature's profound loneliness and despair, encapsulates the broader themes of alienation and the longing for connection, ultimately leading to a poignant critique of human nature itself. Character assessments reveal the complexity of both Victor and his creature. Victor Frankenstein emerges as an archetype of the tragic hero, driven by ambition yet ultimately consumed by it. His inability to foresee the repercussions of his actions defines his character arc, portraying the dangers of hubris in the face of scientific inquiry. The creature, on the other hand, evokes both sympathy and revulsion. Created as an innocent being, he transforms into a figure of horror due to Victor's negligence and society's rejection. This duality prompts readers to grapple with the question of moral responsibility. To what extent is Victor accountable for the creature's actions, and to what extent is the creature culpable for his own monstrous behavior? Shelley's nuanced portrayal of these characters invites a deeper examination of the human condition, as both characters embody the struggle for identity, belonging, and the search for meaning. The thematic synthesis of Frankenstein reveals a rich tapestry of ideas that resonate across time. The novel explores the consequences of unbridled ambition, the quest for knowledge, and the intricacies of human relationships. Shelley's exploration of the dangers inherent in the scientific pursuit, particularly in the context of the Industrial Revolution, raises pertinent questions about the ethical limits of scientific exploration. The theme of isolation is also prevalent, as both Victor and the creature experience profound loneliness, suggesting that the pursuit of knowledge can lead to alienation rather than fulfillment. Furthermore, the novel interrogates the nature of monstrosity, challenging readers to consider what constitutes a monster. Is it the being born from unnatural creation, or is it the creator who abandons their responsibility? Through these themes, Shelley compels readers to reflect on the moral implications of their own actions and the societal structures that shape human interaction. A critical evaluation of the work reveals both strengths and weaknesses. One of the novel's strengths lies in its rich symbolism and depth of character development. Shelley's ability to evoke sympathy for her creature while simultaneously exploring the darker aspects of human nature is commendable. The narrative structure, employing multiple perspectives through letters and first-person accounts, enhances the complexity of the story, allowing for a multifaceted exploration of themes. However, some critiques point to the pacing of the narrative, particularly in the latter half of the novel, where the focus on Victor's pursuit of the creature can feel drawn out. Additionally, the creature's articulate reflections, while thought-provoking, may seem inconsistent with his initial portrayal as a being driven by primal instincts. Despite these weaknesses, the novel's strengths far outweigh its shortcomings, solidifying its status as a literary masterpiece. The literary significance of Frankenstein is profound, as it not only laid the groundwork for the science fiction genre, but also established a discourse on the ethical implications of scientific advancement. Shelley's work continues to influence contemporary literature, film, and discussions surrounding bioethics, artificial intelligence, and the responsibilities of creators. The archetype of the mad scientist, embodied by Victor Frankenstein, has permeated popular culture, serving as a cautionary tale for future generations. Furthermore, the novel's exploration of existential themes resonates within the framework of modern philosophical inquiries, making it a perennial subject of academic study. The enduring nature of Frankenstein can be attributed to its exploration of universal themes that transcend its historical context. As society grapples with the rapid advancements in technology and the ethical dilemmas these innovations present, Shelley's cautionary tale serves as a relevant reminder of the responsibilities inherent in creation. The novel's exploration of identity, belonging, and the human condition continues to resonate with readers, prompting reflection on the nature of humanity itself. Thus, Frankenstein remains a timeless work, urging us to consider the implications of our choices and the impact of our actions on the world around us. Through its intricate narrative, complex characters, and profound themes, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein endures as a powerful exploration of the human experience, reminding us of the delicate balance between ambition and responsibility in our quest for understanding.